dude, I'm telling you, if it weren't for the marijuana that I've only been smoking for about 2.5 years now, and right now I don't like smoking, honestly. It's edibles is what is my preference, and
Oh, good. Yeah.
because it's just healthier and it's way more effective for me. I'm so broken that I need the edibles to feel normal. And see,
Wow.
right now I feel normal. This is kind
Oh,
of the
really?
way. This is the way I used to feel like even a Clear Channel. Just happy,
Yeah.
happy, upbeat. I got energy. I got purpose. I got a reason to live. I can make plans for tomorrow or today or whenever. I can reminisce about good times and um, but what they've done
Yeah, I
to
relate to that idea of broken.
but
I
what
feel that way
Yeah,
sometimes.
but
Yeah.
what they've done to me over the last 15 years, and if you don't mind, I'll just spend 2 minutes going over the things real quickly because you'll be shocked when you hear I found out about 7 years after I purchased the home. First of
Uh-huh.
all, that I don't know if you know anything about manufactured homes in the first place. I never lived in one, never owned one, so
Not
I
much.
so I didn't. But you know that underneath the homes, there are these jacks, these big metal jacks that keep the home lifted. That's why the homes are kind of lifted up a little,
Oh, okay.
and they've got skirting around the sides. And um,
What's the purpose of that?
well, the purpose is because
Well, they're mobile. That's why.
they're mobile and you can't put them on. And if there was a cement foundation,
Mm-hmm.
you probably wouldn't need the jacks.
Oh.
But to pour a cement foundation is problematic for several reasons for manufactured home parks because they need access to like piping underneath and all that stuff. So it gets really
Oh, I see.
complicated. Plus even if you have a concrete foundation, you still need some kind of support system because if it starts raining, then the home is going to be affected um,
Oh, yeah.
a lot more because it's going to flood and stuff because they're built to be cheap,
Right.
solid but cheap, and the way they do that is by using those jack systems underneath the house. And
Okay. So you were telling me about the
oh
jacks.
yeah, let me finish that story because I'm almost done with that. So there's supposed to be something like a total of, let's say, 12 rows of four jacks. Let's just say if you look at the front of the house, uh,
Uh-huh.
in one corner, right underneath, like the left hand corner of one room, there'd be a jack, and on the opposite end of the corner, there'd be another jack, and then in the middle, where the two windows are on the front of a home, there'd be like another two jacks. So basically, every 5 feet, because it's a 20-foot run,
Uh-huh.
from the left side to the right side of the house, if that makes any sense. So every 5 feet, there's a jack, and then every 5 feet going back, they repeat another row. And then go back another 5 feet, and then they do another row. So basically, if you can imagine like a box of like a carton of eggs, how you see there's a dozen eggs in there,
Uh-huh.
and let's imagine those dozen eggs are the jacks, except now instead of only a dozen eggs, you got 56,
Oh,
and
okay.
and each egg represents a jack, and the tip of the egg, the top of the very top of the egg, is where the home will rest.
Okay.
And then the opposite of the bottom of the jack is on the ground, and then the jacks are adjustable, with cranks,
Okay.
because the whole point is you want to make the home as level as possible.
Right.
And,
Right.
and level is very, very, very important in manufactured homes, and that's what I didn't understand. Is just to get to the point, um, the jacks they used were the
Yeah.
cheapest made, period. And this is according to the guy that came out about 7 years after I purchased it. And thank God he told me all this stuff. His name is Tom. And uh, I don't know why I'm going into all these details. I apologize for that. I think because I'm stoned. And I get super talky when I'm stoned. But this
That's
Tom
okay.
dude,
It's
this
kind of funny.
yeah, but this Tom dude. Oh, and by the way, I'm recording this for my channel, Alive Again 420, so that's probably part of it. So you're going to be on my channel now, dude, and that's why I'm not saying your last name or anything, and that's why I'm not saying any too many details. And of course, I will get your permission to use this on my channel after I'm done with it and I edit it. I'll let you hear it, and if there's anything you don't want, please let me know, and I will edit it out. But honestly, every video I've uploaded, I haven't. I do sometimes I'll cut like the first minute or two off or the last minute or two just because I want just the bulk of the good stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't do
I
edits. I don't do edits in the middle. It's just what
You have to just make sure that you have people's permission if there's somebody else on it.
I'm not. Yeah, of course. I'm not doing even now. If they're on YouTube, that's different. I think. Because I review. Well, you saw the Year of the Cat. You saw how I'm watching other people react to Year of the Cat, and I'm reacting on top of their reactions, and I think that's a kind of a weird, unique thing to do.
Yeah, I thought so too.
You know.
I like that. You read my. Well, did you finish your story about the jacks?
Oh yeah, no, but yeah, no. Let me finish that real quick because I didn't quite. So basically, there's supposed to be 56 jacks underneath there. There was a whole row of 4, an entire row missing. And that's one of the things that Tom dude told me. He said, dude, there's a whole, the past 7 years, a whole row of jacks completely missing in an important area of the house. And then after that, he told me half the jacks are used because they're at least 4 or 5 years older than the other half. And the half that are used are so corroded and so rusted away that they probably haven't been affected for at least 2 or 3 years. They've, because remember, the jack has to be supporting the home, and when it corrodes away enough, then it's not touching the bottom of the home anymore. And so they were missing 4 jacks. Half the jacks were used. The other half were the bottom of the bin, cheapest brand available. The foundation underneath the home hadn't been prepared properly prior to the jacks being put there.
Oh wow, you got all kinds of evidence.
And the jacks that were there weren't placed properly. And dude, that's only one. That's only one issue of 1 dozen. And but that and I purchased the 1-year warranty with the home. I went to them 3 times during the first year to because I noticed that the house I started having problems opening doors and closing windows, and cold air and hot air was coming in, because the windows weren't closing properly and the doors weren't sealing properly because the house wasn't level, because it was because the jacks underneath it were super fucked up. And then I started seeing cracks forming in the walls and the ceilings, and I kept going to them. And 3 times during the first year, they promised all 3 times they'd take care of it, and they failed to. And he promised the first 2, and this is part of my story. The first 2 times he promised he'd take care of it, and he apologized. The second time I came to him, he apologized to me and my dad that it hadn't been taken care of yet, but he said he had contacted the insurance company and he was waiting to hear back from them. And so the second time we said, okay, well, please make sure you take care of this. And our home hadn't started falling apart yet, just a little. These were like minor things. If they had been major, which they ended up becoming like 4 or 5 years later, they started becoming major. But the first 6 months, the first 12 months, they were so minor that we were just going to them, please, we don't know what's wrong with our house, but the doors aren't opening and closing properly. They're getting stuck. There's some, you maybe need to come adjust the door frames. We didn't understand anything. And like I said, the dude promised that he'd take care of it. And the 3rd time I came to him, and this is the most important part of my story, he told me, and my father, he even pulled the warranty out. And he said, oh, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys, but it just expired 10 days ago. And he showed us the date, on the warranty that we had signed, with the lease we had signed. And it's like, and both my father and I were just looking at him, well, what about the other 2 times? We came in, you said you'd take care of it. It's not our fault, but that's what I want to do, to take a lie detector test on that. Because that alone shows, some form of malice.
Yeah.
Oh, and dude, well, the other real big story, and I'll make this super quick. They evicted my mentally challenged, physically disabled brother about 12 years ago he was masturbating in his bedroom. Because he had just discovered porn for the first time in his life, and he's 45 years old, and he's watching some porn and masturbating, and the people across the street spotted him, and they reported him, and I guess they had probably seen him 4 or 5 times doing this, and see, this is another important part of the story. I think they thought he was being an exhibitionist, because he was just being very casual about it.